Yeah, right about now, I got some sports news for you right here. So we are actually going to start with BBC Sports. If you are watching me right now, I want you to know that Obi Fidel is right here. We are starting sports right now. That is how I'm going to start. All right, welcome to the show. Stamford Bridge expires in June, with the Brazilian opting to reunite with his former Blues manager Jose Mourinho at Tottenham Hotspur. Manchester City are interested in River Plate's Lucas Martinez Quarta, 23, and want to bring the Argentine to Etihad Stadium with his compatriot and fellow central defender Nicolas Otamendi, 32, going the other way. And of course, this is actually happening. And it's been rumored that Otamendi might actually go back to, Argentina. And if that thing happens, I do not think that would be a good deal for Otamendi. If you ask me, Juventus will step up their pursuit of Fiorentina's Italy winger Federico Chiesa, with his club willing to sell for the right price, while Chelsea, Manchester United, and Inter Milan are also interested in the 22-year-old. Manchester need to make a decision on the future of England under 21 goalkeeper Dean Henderson, 23, who has starred during his time on loan at Sheffield United, with his Old Trafford contract expiring at the end of June. And of course, let's move on. Everton's hope of signing Napoli's Alan, 29, of are threatened with the Serie A club's owner, saying the Brazilian midfielder 65 million price tag will not drop because of COVID-19, which is also the case of Liverpool target Senegal defender Kalidou Koulibaly, 28, who is valued at 95 million pounds. Arsenal are interested in Bayern Munich defensive midfielder Angelo Stiller, and of course that could happen. That that moves occurs. That means that Arsenal will actually buy that boarding defender from Bayern Munich. And of course, Paris Saint-Germain and France forward Kylian Mbappe, 21, has asked for a clause in his contract renewal to allow him to leave the League One champions for Real Madrid or another European club in the future. And of course, Juventus and Argentina forward Gonzalo Higuain has not decided whether to travel back to Italy from his homeland with his boyhood club, River Plate, interested in signing the 32-year-old. I think Higuain can actually move because his time in Europe is actually fading. He is actually playing well, but I think he should go back to River Plate. That is what I think that Gonzalo Higuain should actually do right now that he's being touted for. And of course, Lyon want to keep on loan Villarreal and Cameroon forward Carl Toko Ekambi, 27. DC United are still interested in signing a defender when the MLS transfer market reopens, after the plans were interrupted when the league was suspended 2 games into the season. And of course, the video assistant referee will continue to be used in Premier League and if and when the season restarts. All right. So if you've been actually complaining about the video ratification of scores in football, then you should not be tired of it because it promises to continue. And of course, right now, let us actually move on to other great sports news right here. And of course, we got gist right here coming through the chair. And of course, we will actually look at Vincent Company and of course what is happening to that man right now. Aha. We will actually give you some gist right now. And of course, it is 12 months to the day Vincent Company let fly from distance to score one of the most memorable goals in Manchester City history. All right. Of course, we will actually recall what actually happened that day. Aha. Here we look back at his iconic strike that left champions with one hand on the Premier League trophy. It seems a lifetime ago now, but it is time. Last year, people were waking up to headlines proclaiming the City captain and his stunning long range goal that saw a stubborn Leicester City team to Pep Guardiola's side just ahead of Liverpool in the standings. And of course, let us actually tell you that this strike will not be forgotten very soon. As such, it was the defining moment of one of the most intense and closely top flight title races of modern era, and one that we should remember. Heading to Monday Night Football clash at the Etihad on May 6, 2019, the champions found themselves in unusual position of trailing Liverpool in the league after Jurgen Klopp team dramatic 3-2 win at Newcastle United 2 evenings before. The late victory at at St James Park gave Liverpool a slender 2-point lead over City, albeit having played one more match than their rivals as the season reached now in front of the Sky TV cameras. And of course, we actually have this going on. It was a contest dripping with tension and with so much riding on the result. It was perhaps uninspiring. Apart from early Sergio Aguero header against the bar, there was little goal mouth action to report. However, as each minute ticked at the 80th, so the anxiety levels rose among who could see the title is actually slipping away. And of course, nerves were also now being shown on the touchline as Guardiola, arms constantly waving every direction, became ever more frantic watching his players try to break down a well-bred Leicester City outfit. And of course, the first half came and went in a flash, and it took the City manager just 11 minutes after halftime to make a change as Leroy was introduced in place of youngster Phil Foden, but the visitors' backline continued to remain intact. And now the goal came. And of course, but now it was virtually a game of defense against attack as the host threw caution to the wind in search of a winning goal that will keep the destiny of the title in their own hands. There were only 20 minutes left on the clock, though Brendan Rodgers' side were looking comfortable, repelling wave after wave of City attacks. That is until Company took matters into his hands. Picking up the possession from the centre-back partner, Aymeric Laporte, and midway inside the Leicester half, the City captain strode forward with purpose, looking for better place options. However, there were none with City players, all seemingly marked tight opponents, leaving the 33-year-old with his decision over whether to pull the trigger or not. Company's teammates were certainly sure that the skipper should do the next, perhaps mindful he had never scored from outside the box in his Premier League career, but the man himself thought otherwise. The central defender caught his 30-yard shot sweetly, and the ball flashed the previously embarrassed Kasper Schmeichel and into the top right-hand corner of the match. And that was how they actually scored that particular goal. Very one major scare right at the end of the game. Former City striker Kelechi Iheanacho somehow managed to side foot wide of a gapping goal with just Ederson to beat. City saw out the remainder of the contest to bank a final 3 points. And that was how they won that particular match, ladies and gentlemen. That was a match, and they actually won it. All right. Okay, we will actually be giving you gist from other sports news right here, and we will look at the transfer. All right, we will look at the transfer, what is happening there, and of course, if there's any headway, we will let you know. All right, and remember, we will actually look at some gist from Baka. Yes, Baka news will actually come up right here. All right, let us actually rush to back right now before we actually come back to the other ones. And of course, we have news, we have gist, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, Dr. Jen, I'm very happy in Barcelona. He said in an interview via Instagram, the German goalkeeper had also added that the sporting situation is very good in Barca, and he hopes to continue staying in Barcelona. All right, and that should be a move that you should make, my brother, because playing in Barca is one of the best things that could happen to a keeper. And of course, a keeper in his prime. It is good news. Setien, all right, is not the worst in back of Rondos, all right? In the light-hearted interview, Barcelona coach Quique Setien joked that he's not one of the worst when he joins in with Rondos at training. And of course, this actually happened in the live broadcast they actually heard yesterday. And of course, it was wonderful. Setien was actually talking. All right. Xavi contradicts Abidal. I had an offer to take over as Barca coach. Xavi Hernandez has reaffirmed his version of events. The former Barcelona midfielder assured on Monday that the club offered him the manager's job in January, but he turned it down. In order to improve better, we are actually hoping that he will change his mind someday and come back and manage the team. Let's actually see what Xavi can do for Barca. And of course, Inter Milan, Bojo Valero, Inter Milan Spanish midfielder, has praised the progress and performances of his teammate Lautaro Martinez, who is also wanted by Barcelona. And of course, let us move. Tottenham midfielder Tanguy Ndombele has been strongly linked to the move to Barcelona next season due to his relationship with coach Jose Mourinho. However, according to the Telegraph, the situation has changed and the Frenchman's move to Camp Nou is now less likely. And of course, all Barcelona bees this week will be on Friday's video conference in which the RFEF will decide how to resolve Segunda Division B. All right? And of course, it is not actually decided right now. They will take that decision. And of course, once that decision is taken, we will know. All right, Carlos Soler and Riqui Puig will be part of Barcelona first team next season. The decision has been taken. Only the arrival of a huge offer for one of them will change the club's mind. And I think Carlos Mena is actually a good player and should be retained by Barca. Riqui Puig is also a very good player and should be retained by Barca. If you ask me, those guys are very good players. And of course, we got Gilles Xavi and Samuel Eto'o discuss their time together at Barcelona over a video chat and record the time when the Catalan midfielder convinced Pep Guardiola to keep the Cameroonian striker. And of course, this actually shows the bond that the Barca team had. Xavi convinced Samuel Eto'o, the coach, to keep Samuel Eto'o. And of course, he went on to be a great for Barcelona. And of course, you have it right here. If players are playing in the same team, they can actually support each other. And of course, let it continue to happen, ladies and gentlemen. Denis Suarez was unable to make much of an impact at the Camp Nou before being loaned out to Arsenal in 2018 and eventually sold to his boyhood club, Celta Vigo, in 2019. Well, he has fond memories of Barca. Who wouldn't have? I mean, Barca was a very good team. Of course, he actually proved himself while he was there. He was a good player, but he was affected by lots of injuries. And of course, last month, Barca said it aimed to sell the title rights to Europe's biggest stadium for next season to raise money for the global fight against the coronavirus. But Jordi Cardona Casos, the club's first vice president, told ESPN that Barca is open to a much longer naming arrangement with a sponsor. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let us now move. And of course, check out Gist. We got Gist right here. And of course, Pinnick outlines reasons behind phone from FIFA. And of course, we will actually check it out and see what's happening. Yes, we got Gist right here. And of course, it is talking about Amaju Melvin Pinnick. And of course, he is talking about the fund that FIFA actually sent to them. The president of Nigeria Football Federation (NFF), Amaju Pinnick, has said the 500,000 to each of the 2011 member countries by the Federation of International Football Association (FIFA) to member associations was not a palliative, as widely speculated. As part of our efforts to remain transparent with financial dealings, and because I have seen inquiries about FIFA's release of funds to member associations, I feel it is my duty to update on how things stand, Pinnick explained in a series of tweets at Amaju Pinnick. And of course, he added that every year there is statutory allocations that federation receive from FIFA for the month running of football in different federations. However, these funds come with statutory specific areas of obligations. And of course, what FIFA has done now, though, is to release funds that were meant to be released later in the year. Earlier, this is part of FIFA's plans to help ameliorate hardships on this novel coronavirus has and will cause. It is not a palliative as widely touted as some have speculated, but Pinnick stands in, however, at variance with FIFA's release of 24 April, which quoted its president, Gianni Infantino, as saying that 500,000 to each of the 2011 member countries was to cushion the effects of COVID-19. The pandemic has caused unprecedented challenges for the entire football community and world governing body. It is FIFA's duty to be there and support the ones that are facing acute needs. Of course, he has explained what this money is for. And of course, for those of you that are rumoring and saying things that you wouldn't say, you actually know the gist right now. And of course, let us move on. Let us move on and bring you all the gist. All right, we have gist right here, and of course, it is talking about the latest transfer and rumors with updates on Timo Werner, Leroy Sané, and of course, many more. And of course, Bournemouth Gosling, what Bournemouth stay. And of course, midfielder Dan Gosling has said he wants to finish his career with South Coast Club. It is 6 years since Gosling left Newcastle on a largely unsuccessful 4-year spell at Tyneside to move back down south. I have got huge respect for everyone at the club, the chairman, the chief executive, the coaching staff, Seth Gosling. All the people who work behind the scenes are all fantastic people, so I'm very settled here. He said, my little one's supposed to be starting school in September. We go on dog walks along the beach, and in the summer, our family comes to stay, and we have great days out, and they always say how lucky we are living here. It is a way of life that suits us to bring up kids in a place like this. There's not too many better places. And of course, he had actually told us that. But of course, Manchester United are yet to keep field low, which was the season. Both clubs arrived at Champions League football and a potential £60 million prize pot. Henderson has enjoyed a magnificent season, 10 clean sheets, and earning a call-up to Gareth Southgate's England squad, with discussions continuing over a return to Premier League action next month. Officials at Bramall Lane are keen to learn if Henderson's year-long loan can be extended beyond June 30 when it runs out. Across the pennies, Manchester United have installed the decision to date until a revised calendar is agreed. And of course, Werner. We got news on Werner. Werner wants Liverpool. And of course, Manchester United and Chelsea have placed Timo Werner on a shortlist, transfer shortlist, reports the Daily Express. However, Liverpool are leading the race for the RB Leipzig striker signature, and Build report the 24-year-old is holding out for a move to Anfield. Werner, who has scored 27 goals this season, is keen to link up with compatriot Jurgen Klopp. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, Sporting Lisbon defender Marco Acuna's agent has been speaking to Roman News, the EU, and suggested a move to Italy is a priority for the reported Inter Milan target. There are many clubs interested in Acuna that we are talking to at the moment, Paulo De Real said. I prefer not to name names right now. I will admit that Italy and Serie A is a priority for him. We will see how the negotiations unfold. Use the COVID-19 crisis has been resolved. And of course, Everton are actually considering a midfielder right now. Everton are considering breaking the release clause of River Plate midfielder Nico de la Cruz, according to HITC. The outlet reports the Uruguayan's clause is set at £19 million. And of course, Liverpool are reportedly interested in Lazio forward Joaquin Correa. According to Italian outlet Calcio Mercato, the 25-year-old has scored 7 times, I beg your pardon, in 17 league games this summer. I do like to play in Premier League at the moment. I am focused on Lazio, but I also enjoy the English League. I would like to improve my English, and I will, he said in an Instagram live interview during the lockdown. And of course, Manchester United are yet to decide if they will allow prospect Dean Henderson to extend his loan at Sheffield United. I've actually given you that gist. Let's move on. Leicester had the door open to sign Robin Gosens from Atlanta for £25 million. Okay, £25 million according to 90 minutes. The utility man has scored 7 times in Serie A stats this season. And of course, let us move on, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, Begovic on Milan return and Zlatan friendship. On loan, Bournemouth goalkeeper Asimir Begovic discusses returning to training with AC Milan, his friendship with Zlatan Ibrahimovic, and his work with United Nations Refugee Agency. I get asked about Zlatan every single day, he told Sky Sports News reporter Damashet. We've built up a nice friendship. We are a couple of the older guys on the team, and we can relate to each other in terms of families and kid stuff. And of course, as a person, he's a great guy, and as a player, even better because he holds himself to the highest standards and he holds his teammates to those standards. His public persona is very, very different to the way he is behind closed doors. All right, so let us actually check out the gist affecting Coutinho right now. Thiago Alcantara has suggested Bayern Munich are keen to keep Felipe Coutinho at Allianz Arena next season. I know him well; he's very good. Thiago told Catalan newspaper Vanguardia, "I've seen him play since he was 12 years old. I played against him in Brazil at Football Sala, and I loved him. He lacks nothing. I like to play with players at the top level." And he's a phenomenon. He's a great guy, really hard working with unbeatable technique and incredible vision. Players go through good moments and some not so good ones, and it brings us a lot. We hope he's here next season too. And of course, they are talking about Coutinho. I've been actually talking about him, and I've been telling people that Coutinho is a good player, and of course, if we can give him the necessary time that he needs, I know Coutinho will be a very good player for Barca. And of course, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain has praised Liverpool for the show of faith that saw him give a contract extension after recovering from a serious knee injury. He told the club's official website, "It was another big moment for me. It was really exciting for me, obviously coming off the back of an injury. We are talking for a while. If that was a big thing we are going to do, and coming to an agreement that meant a lot to me. To be at a club that supported me all the way through an injury like that, which for some time it can be career ruining or career ending, to commit an extension on the contract. Probably at the time, maybe it was a bit of a risk, or they had to put a lot of trust and faith in me. an athlete and as an athlete and a person. Because after an injury like that, no one really knows how you're going to come back for the club to do that meant absolute world to me. I felt very privileged and honored to extend my time with an amazing football club, an amazing team. Definitely one of my favorite moments, of the season. And of course, Evra. Sir Allison went for Bill and Ronaldo. All right. Evra said that Sir Allison Ferguson was plotting a double swoop for Cristiano Ronaldo and Gareth Bale shortly before his retirement in 2013, according to former Manchester United defender Patrice Evra. Speaking to United podcast, Evra recalled of a conversation he had with Ferguson. He said, "My target is I'm 99% sure he will have Cristiano Ronaldo and Gareth Bale. I just need these two players to win the Champions League again. 99%." And of course, and to be fair, when I speak with Cristiano, I asked him and he said yes to the boss and he was coming to join United. He told me. And of course, this was what happened. Bale and of course, Cristiano Ronaldo are now play together in Spain before Cristiano Ronaldo moved to Juventus. And of course, football continues for him. He's on top of his football and he is really playing well. And of course, Jose Mourinho is expecting to be limited to free agents and swap deals in next transfer window as top five prepares for a drastically changed financial outlook brought on by coronavirus pandemic. The Evening Standard reported Tottenham head coach Mourinho was planning to reshape a squad that has declined dramatically over the last 12 months. Sports chairman Daniel Levy said last month, "When I read or hear stories about transfers this summer like nothing has happened, people need to wake up to the enormity of what is happening around us." And of course, that is a very good coach. He reads the situation and he knows what is happening. And of course, we got G's. John Barnes has just suggested Kylian Mbappe is not the right fit for Jurgen Klopp Liverpool side. Former Monaco teammate Fabinho said he would welcome a reunion with the player amid speculation in January, but Barnes believes Klopp should look elsewhere in order to strengthen his squad. They will need to sign another forward at some point in case one of the front three leaves, but it will have to fit what Klopp wants, Barnes told Daily Mail. And of course, Kylian Mbappe is fantastic on the ball, but would he do the other stuff? I do suggest if you're a 21-year-old superstar, your attitude isn't going to change. Barnes added, 99% of people wouldn't pick Jordan Henderson, Jorginho, Wijnaldum, of course, above Kevin De Bruyne and the Silva, or even Jack Grealish or James Madison, but they worked for Liverpool. And of course, Divock Origi and Hernan Shaqiri came in for Barcelona, came in for the Barcelona semi-final. And of course, their attitude was great and they were physically ready. It shows they were training well and waiting for their chance. Jordan creates that environment. One of the bravest things was letting Philippe Coutinho go and not directly replacing him. Liverpool trusted him. And of course, he came to a club like Barca, and of course, he has not been playing football since. And that is a very, very bad move. All right. Let us now look at Ebere Eze, the Nigerian that plays for England right now. And of course, there's a lot of story. He laughs, pausing for thought as he prepares to answer sports presenter David Jones' question about his footballing journey so far. The 21-year-old has started from Mark Warburton QPR side in just his third full season as a professional, scoring 12 goals, providing 8 assists, and earning widespread acclaim before the championship campaign was halted due to the coronavirus. But just a few years ago, to say dreams of reaching such heights were hanging by a thread is an understatement. And of course, is actually now, the cost of the guy a lot of teams are going for. And let us look at Chelsea's double transfer boost. Chelsea have received a boost in the pursuit of Ajax goalkeeper Andre Onana and Fiorentina forward Federico Chiesa. Report the London Evening Standard. Ajax head coach Erik ten Hag has admitted the 24-year-old Cameroonian international is available at the right price, though the club has yet to receive a concrete offer. Ten Hag um, told the newspaper, Andre is very important to us, and of course we don't want to lose him. But it's true that we have an agreement from the last year about the development scenario and what step we will take if the right club comes in at the right price. As far as I know, no concrete offer has been made to Arias. Meanwhile, Fiorentina owner Rocco Comiso has admitted there is interest across Europe for Chiesa. He told Bruno Toscana, if he wants to go, I'm sorry, but we do accommodate him, providing the offer is fair. We must also say he is what he is what may have dropped since last year. It may suit everyone, although there's a chance that he will stay. I haven't offered Federico anything that hasn't been a proposal. It's fake news. The important thing is that the player wants to stay. And of course, that is a good gist. All right, Barca offer 2 players for Laturo. And of course, Barcelona have offered 56.9 million pounds, I beg your pardon, plus 2 players for Inter Milan forward Lautaro Martinez, according to reports in Spain. Spanish outlet claim Martinez 22 is edging closer to a move to Camp Nou. And of course, Nelson Semedo, Carlos Alena, Arturo Vidal have previously been linked as part of Player Pro's cash transfer for Lautaro. And of course, this is actually a good one. All right, so let us actually look at David's incredible rise to the top. Alfonso David's stellar first season with Bayern Munich caught the eye and earned him a new 5-year deal, but his determination to succeed was forged in an upbringing shaped by war and poverty. And of course, from moving across the world to start a new life age 5 to being chased by Manchester United to rewriting the books of sporting history in North America and now shining in Germany. Here is the story of Alfonso Davies as told by some people who knew him most. And if I actually start reading it, we will not go today. So let us actually move forward. And of course, Martinez, Belgium would have been one of the tournament favorites for Euro 2020, but has the competition been moved back by a year affected his plans for an aging defense? Visit company turns 35 next April. Jan van Vertonghen will be 34 by the next summer comes around, while Toby Alderweireld will be 32. Speaking of football show, head coach Roberto Martinez said, "You can never look too far down the line. I think at the moment, following the World Cup in 2018, we wanted to carry on progressing. I feel we've done that in the last 2 years, and we've now got more options as a squad to replace players. The age of players is never a concern when you see they are fit and they are playing. It is more of a case of injuries at the moment. I see all the players in a healthy state. At the moment, we are not focusing on the Nations League in September to prepare for the European Championship. The defense is all over 30 years, but they are looking very healthy. And this period, if anything, has stimulated everyone to carry on and to appreciate football. And of course, that is about talking about, Belgium. And of course, they've been doing very well. We've been talking about them lately. And of course, we got just right here, Real Madrid chasing for wonder kid Camavinga. Real Madrid set to sell Gareth Bale and James Rodriguez to pursue wonder kid Eduardo Camavinga. According to the reports in Spain, Madrid must focus on selling players to free up funds to make room for Camavinga. is Zinedine Zidane his squad overhaul as Santiago Bernabeu. But Madrid are expected to offload at least 5 of the stars this summer, as there will be a total of 37 players in the squad following the return of numerous loanees. Yes, and of course, this is actually rumored. Uh, Kamavinga seems to be the player right now, and everybody's actually, looking towards him. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Liverpool are confident Wijnaldum will commit a new contract at Anfield this summer, according to Football Insider. Negotiations are understood to have commenced between the Reds and the 29-year-old Netherlands international, whose current contract expires this summer. And of course, let us move on, ladies and gentlemen. Let us move on right here. We got gist, and of course, this gist is about Leigh Griffiths. He has revealed that he wants to stay at Celtic for the rest of his career. The 29-year-old's current deal runs until 2020, but he's driven to earn an extension. The striker said, "Can I myself finish my career at Celtic? Yeah. If I can do well in the next year, I will try to get myself another 2-year deal. That will take me to 34. Then we will see where we go after that. I want to do my coaching by the student. I can't see myself as a manager, but I could be a striker's coach." And of course, here comes Griffith. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, this seems to be where we're going to be drawing the curtain today. I hope you enjoyed this sports that we brought you right here from Obi. Tomorrow, we'll actually do this. All right. And of course, a lot will be happening. A lot will be happening right here. And of course, we promise to be actually doing some changes. I have a lot of programs I've actually drummed up, but it will actually take time before we actually start to do it. All right. Thank you very much if you tuned in today. And of course, I want to thank Maje Udo Usu. How you doing, my brother? And of course, great to have you right here. Thank you very much for tuning in. And I've actually told you guys that you should actually join the new stuff going on right now, talking about the new stuff. Crowd One. Crowd One is actually the end thing right now. So if you want to join Crowd One, just give me a call. And of course, I will direct you on how you're going to do it. Or if you do not want to join, but you need to be talked to on joining Crowd One, please just drop your number. Send me a text message, drop your number, and of course, I'll have somebody to call you soon. Crowd One is actually the earn thing, and of course, making guys millionaires. I don't know what you're waiting for, but if you need Crowd One, I will tell you, please do join us right now. All right, thank you very much. I want to thank everyone that has been supporting me right here. And of course, I also want to give thanks to a lady that I just met today. And of course, her name is Chinny Jenny. All right, she's been nice. And thank you very much, Jenny. I appreciate whatever you did for me. Do have a great day, guys, because I'll be leaving right now.